Hello, my name is Grian, and today I'm going to be doing something very special. I'm going to be making my own house in real life in Minecraft. This has been a suggestion for a long time, and as you can see, I've cheated a little bit. These blocks are not in vanilla Minecraft. I have kindly asked my Twitter followers, hey, can you texture these for me? And they obliged, because otherwise this build wouldn't really be possible because these textures don't exist in the game, and my house is a fairly odd colour. So, what this is going to be is less for tutorial, because that is the most conceited thing in the world, to do a tutorial on my own house. That doesn't make any sense. And this isn't really my house, it's my family's house. I've lived here since I was like 7, so I'm going to be doing a little bit of a commentary over what I'm building here. And then at the end, I'm going to do like a side-by-side comparison with some pictures of my actual house, so that we can see how close I got it. So this is the general layout of my house. There's a little bit on the side there for the shed. The main building is right where I am now. You can see the door where I've placed some white. And from here, I'm going to be working on the main structure, instead of doing the garden and garage, which we'll come to later. So I got a little bit of a front garden, and my house was built in the 70s. Now, 70s houses didn't look that good, so if this building doesn't look good, that's probably because my house isn't like the most pleasant thing to look at, but it's not bad. It's a really nice, like, 70s house, if that makes sense. So it's got this like weird red slate, and that's where those red bricks have sort of come in, and then the rest of the like yellowy style bricks, or kind of like lighter red, that's what it's primarily made out of. But it's almost like they just didn't want to use too many bricks, so they added that red stuff in it. But they also added like this white plastic, which I'm using quartz to sort of demonstrate. It's honestly like not the most attractive thing in the world, but the house itself is quite sizable. It's a nice place to live, it's in a nice area, and I've lived here since I was 7, so it's kind of like, my house. And I actually recommend that anyone should try building their own house in Minecraft, because you actually feel a little more attached to it, because it means something to you, especially if you've been living there a long time. So my house has this like little bit that juts out here, and at the top is one of the bedrooms, and at the bottom is like a boiler. Now, I'm not going to be doing the interior. It took me like 2 hours to build this, and I actually surprised myself, because I was building this and I was like, damn, this is actually testing how well I know my house. I actually went outside a couple of times and had a look. I was like, oh yeah, that's how it is, just to get the proportions right. And I think I did pretty well. This was my first attempt, and I was pretty happy with it. Now, you can see that I added like white before the roof. I'm actually going to change that later, because although it's got like this white, I don't know what the word is, but it's like a protective layer under the roof. It isn't actually like on the outside, so I changed that a bit later on, just so that the roof actually overhangs the plastic covering like I am now. So I'm changing that up now, just so it, resembles the house a bit. But in Minecraft, obviously, because the blocks are quite wide, and in reality those overhangs are tiny, it looks a little bit odd. But the effect is successful nonetheless, and we've pretty much done the first side of my house. So that's pretty much the front as it is. And I know it's got the guttering and stuff. Now, the guttering was white, but I didn't retexture it, so I've just added cobblestone. That's meant to be a satellite dish. That was about as small as I could get it. It's a little smaller than that in real life. Obviously, this is as close to scale as I can possibly get it. Now, I've got this like front walkway, so very simple path added, and that's pretty much the front of the house finished. Now we need to go to the back and sort of replicate what we've done, but without the shape. Obviously, we've got like a little bit of an extension here, which gives it that L shape, but it's all fairly similar from there. We've got windows with plastic on, we've got the red slate, which is probably my least favourite thing, but as you can see, that the house is actually quite sizable, and although I did lay out the garden, it was a little bit too small when I came to do it later, but we'll come to that in a few moments. So I'm going to work on the back door and the windows, which is, it looks roughly like that. It's actually very hard to make a door to scale on this size, because obviously doors are like 2 blocks high, but the doors in this are going to be like 5 blocks high, so you have to just use your imagination on that one a bit. Now, I have to say big thank you to the person that did the textures for me. That was so nice of them. I literally asked Twitter, and it feels really rewarding to say, hey Twitter, can you help me with this? And then like 5 people are like, yeah, sure, and then they helped me so much. So this is like the closest that they got, and I showed this to my parents, and they were like, wow, that's really good. You've actually got the house down pretty well. and then they asked me to like build an extension on it for them. But anyway, let's continue. So I'm just sort of building up the walls. Now, I have got guttering there, which should be white, but I didn't retexture that, so it's just cobblestone, so use your imagination. Editing the front of this, because it hasn't got like the white plastic on the front, it's got it like underneath and at the back, so it is just like a protective casing, just to stop like water leakages and that kind of stuff. This is a very typical house in a suburban area in the UK, so maybe you'll get a good feel of like how similar or dissimilar your house is in real life compared to mine, or, you know, one in the UK. I'm not saying every house in the UK looks like this, and we have got these like aerials on. I think that's obsolete because we got the satellite dish, but it's still there, and it's still on everyone's houses because this house is pretty old. Was it 40, nearly 50 years old now? Jeez. Well, anyway, we got a chimney that we have a fireplace and we don't use it. And again, I'm not going to be doing the interior, so that doesn't even matter. And then around the side, it's got this long sheet of white plastic that sort of covers it. And it's got like one there as well. That's not a garage door. That little one on the right is also just a random sheet of plastic. I'm not sure what the purpose is there. My dad probably knows. And yeah, so this is the bit where I had to go outside and take a look at what this looked like. It is just a sheet of plastic that runs down the side of the house, and I think it was to save bricks. I imagine, like, in the 70s, they wanted to build houses for cheap, and they just sort of saved on bricks by adding these, you know, the red slate stuff and the white plastic. I imagine that's where it come from. And now we're moving on to my favourite part of the house, my office, which used to be a garage. So I'm building the red garage door there, but actually on the inside, half of that is my office where I'm recording it right now. So I'm building the building that I'm building the building in. Does that make sense? I'm building the building where I was building the building in. So yeah, that's my office in there. We converted it last year when sort of Minecraft and YouTube became my full-time job, and I've loved it. It's my own little space. It's really nice to record in. There's not too much echo. But then there's the garden, which I really messed up the shape on. Not the shape, sorry, the size. It's not right. In reality, it's way bigger. It's actually like, you know, about the same size as the house, so I messed up a little bit on that one. But now I'm going to work on the garden. Now, apart from the size being wrong, I've got a pond. It used to have a trampoline and a swimming pool when I was younger, but now it's full of nice plants. There's a wisteria, which is along the side of the wall, and it's like creeping along. It's my favourite plant. It's a lovely plant. It has like lovely drooping purple flowers. It's really, really beautiful, and they take such a long time to grow. So apart from that, we've got some nice flower beds, we've got some like nice grass, and then at the back we have a shed, because part of the deal of having my office and, you know, taking up my parents' garage space was to build a shed for them, or buy a shed for them, and then have the extra storage space, because otherwise they would have nowhere to put their stuff where it was normally in the garage. Then at the front, we've got a lovely little holly tree, and then we've got some nice shrubs that are probably as old as I am, and they flower like 3 times a year. They're really nice. And then that's kind of it. This is my house. And according to my parents, it's pretty spot on. I think it's pretty spot on, but it really is made possible by the texture packs. So if you feel like I cheated, I don't really blame you, but it is not possible to make this house. I mean, look at those colors. They just don't exist in Minecraft. I couldn't make it properly. The brick is just wrong color. There's nothing to match the roof or the slate color. It just doesn't work. So big thank you to the person that made that for me. Now, this is what it looks like in real life. This is my real house here. And what do you think? How close to the mark am I? I know that the camera has shifted over, but you get the idea. How close was I? Give me like a rating out of 10, like, you know, 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10. Here's another angle for you. How close does it look? Now, it does, in my eyes, look pretty close. Now, these pictures were taken with my new vlogging camera, which I'm going to be vlogging with a lot more. But yeah, that's pretty much it, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been a little bit different. Now, obviously, I didn't do a tutorial on this house. I'm not sure why you would want to build my house. It's kind of like, you know, my house. So it's probably best if you guys build your house and then tweet me your house, and then we can compare our builds and see how similar or dissimilar they are. I don't know, it's a pretty interesting concept. I always love seeing what you guys make. I get a load of pictures on Twitter, and I always favourite my really favourite ones because, you know, that's what the function's for. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye!